Hey, hey, unapologetically passionate. How are you guys doing? It is officially 2 o'clock and we can get started. Hey, replay viewers, I appreciate you guys for stopping in just as well. And I'm going to go ahead and double check the page, make sure we're good on the page as well. So hold on one second, you guys. I'm super excited about this. Hey, Misty. Oh, Misty was asking a question from before. I love how those comments pop up. This thing is awesome sauce. Hold on. I want to make sure we are live and we are good to go. I'm looking for you guys on the Facebook page, and we are live. What's going on? Hey, Jenny. Oh my God, you guys. Hey, Lynn. I'm so ridiculously excited about today. Okay, for those of you who I have never met, welcome. We are doing a phenomenal training today, but you are not going to hear from me the entire time. Listen, I gotta make sure that I put this whole thing in perspective. Let's see who we got out here. Hanging out with us. We got some live viewers here. We got Tanisha in the house. Hey, Tanisha, what's going on? Let's see. We got Lynn in the house. What's going on, Miss Lynn? All right. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Carrie Sharp will be happy to see. She has more material. Yes, because crazy things happen when you're going live. And we're using this beautiful new technology. You guys see how everything looks? I'm so pumped about bringing this to you today. So without further ado, because we've already had some craziness happen, let me just give you a little bit of the backstory so we can actually get going here. The reason, you guys may know already, that I absolutely love vision boards because they put the huge big goals in front of you. Hey, it looks like Misty just arrived, so we have somebody else hanging out with us, and I know Asia's here too, so I love it when I see new faces. So I love vision boards, and the reason vision boards are so important to me is because they put your really big goals right in front of your face. You have visuals of them. You see them constantly. I absolutely love vision boards. But this is the thing. You can have a huge vision board in front of you, but if you don't have any of the steps that it takes to get you there, it's almost like a pretty picture, and that's it, decorating your wall. Then I met our trainer, and she introduced me to the chalkboard method. It changed the game for me. So now not only do I have my goals in front of me, my visions, my dreams, and pretty beautiful graphical images of them that I can look at every single day, but in addition to that, now I have a concrete plan of actually how to get there. And that's the piece that was missing. And once she introduced this to me, this quarter, for example, the third quarter has been amazing. So I am so excited to have her here. You guys, her name is Robin Walker. You have heard me talk so much about her in the past. You've heard me talk about a conference that I went to back in March, and that's where I met her for the very first time. I had never heard of her. I had never met her. She put together this amazing conference, and that's what she does. She is the creator of the Women's Business Workshop. She's the creator and founder of the Lakeside Women Business Conference that changed the game for me for my business for this year. And I'm so excited to actually have her here as our trainer for the day. So I want to, without further ado, introduce you guys to none other than the one and only Mrs. Robin Walker. How are you?
Hey, everybody. I feel like I'm on the Bulls or something. I'm getting announced. That was fabulous. Thank you.
I adore you. Before we jump into the training, before we fully jump in, can you do me a favor and just tell everybody just a little bit about who Robin Walker is, how you kind of came up with the concept of the Women's Business Workshop, and what you do and all that good stuff?
Sure. First of all, does this sound good? Am I shouting, or is this good?
Well,
can you hear me okay?
I'm shouting on my end because I turned down my volume a little bit, which was excessively loud. You sound perfect.
Okay. Okay. Well, just real quick, I actually went to college to be a teacher. So I was an elementary school teacher first, stayed home with my oldest daughter, and started running businesses from home while I was having kids, and things just kept continuing. And so that gets me to where I am today, where I work with women business owners and help plan events and help build businesses so more women have some flexibility with their families.
Sweet. I absolutely love it. So I want to really just jump right in because what you do has helped me tremendously this year with my business. And so I want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to ask any questions they have. So I want you to just jump right in to the chalkboard method, give us a little bit of background. And like I said, I'm going to flip the pages of the presentation for you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I didn't make this up or anything. I first saw this on the Being Boss group, Facebook group. They have a podcast. It's two women.
Okay.
And they commented that they heard it from somebody else. So I don't know who originally started it, but that is where I first heard from it. And at the end of the slides, we do have the podcast number and the website, so you guys can go check out more if you want to see where I saw it from originally. But this is something that there's no one right way to do it. You don't have to do it the way that anybody else has done it. If you're crafty, not crafty, doesn't matter. It's more about the general idea of what you're doing. So chalkboard method is a way to set your goals that is measurable, specific, and visual. So, sorry, just need to take a moment. Today's been a super busy day. So my brain is now shifting and going to what I'm doing right at the moment. So I apologize. I'm just trying to organize some files up there for a minute. So what a lot of women business owners I find have trouble with when we're trying to set our goals is we have these big grand ideas and we have all these different things going on and we get like, oh, that would be great and that would be great and that would be great. And then we never actually act on a lot of the ideas because they're so big and they're so overwhelming that we can't just take them chunk by chunk. I know for me, I have this huge to-do list and it just really gets overwhelming. So what I found with the chalkboard method is it really helps break down those big goals into smaller chunks, just due to the nature of how it's visually set up. So for the chalkboard method, it doesn't have to be an actual chalkboard. You are just setting up some kind of visual, a bulletin board, a chalkboard, a notebook. It doesn't really matter, but it's just very specific, and we'll show some examples. Wait, can you go back one real quick, Tamita? Thank you. What I like about the chalkboard method is because you have to write down specific things that you're going to be doing, it holds you accountable to get started. So that big cloud of ideas you have, it's really going to help you narrow them down into smaller chunks. The other beauty of it is it's in your face. The way that this works is if you see it every day. And that's what's different too about your to-do list, that you check off a couple things and put it away. You still do all your online systems and processes, but this is helping you chunk down just your specific things. Okay, now you can go ahead for the next, thanks. Okay, so I have a few examples for you guys to just see. So this is one I just found on Pinterest. This is just one person's, what they chose to do. But what you notice at the bottom is that they have a specific circle for each one that they want to fill. And that's what I love about using this method is, for me on this particular example, at the top, that's not really the way I like. The big open boxes like that to me don't help me because that's not very specific. But if you look at the piggy bank with the revenue goals, when you meet one, then you color up to that line. So it's a very visual, hey, I finished something. I actually have something complete. And at the bottom with the circles, it is, at least for me, I'm the type of person that writes something on their list and then just so I can cross it off because I did it. It's so fulfilling to go back through and color in one of your circles when you've completed something. I first use this method for the Lakeside conference that I planned, and I'll show you mine later. But I just had so many things that I felt like selling tickets is going to be so overwhelming. Who's actually going to buy a ticket? How many do I actually want to, how many tickets do I actually want to sell? So when you put it on a board like this, you are claiming things very specifically. I want to sell this many tickets, and there is a space in my world right now for each one of those tickets. And you see it every day. So you think, I'm going to sell 50 tickets. Hey, there's 50 boxes. That looks totally overwhelming. But as people start buying tickets, and I could check off those boxes, you see it filling, and it just makes you feel that much more confident that, hey, I think I really can sell 50 tickets. If I left all those ticket reminder emails and I just left them in my email, I wouldn't really be visually seeing every day how successful this is actually becoming, because you're watching the progress visually. And to me, that is so empowering. And so all those little wins we forget about all the time and think, oh my gosh, nothing's going right. You are visually seeing all the things that you are doing right. You are visually seeing all your wins right in front of you every day. And I think that is so powerful. So anyway, you can go to the next one. And Demita, pipe in at any time, because I know you have a lot to offer too. This one I put in a lot too because it's pretty. I actually, even though I was a teacher, I can't stand actual chalkboards and chalk. They give me the willies, they're dusty and messy, and I personally can't stand actual chalkboards. So you can use whatever you want, but I just thought this person, I mean, if you're more left-brained and you're more things in their place and just black and white, I thought this was a good example for someone who kind of has more of that mindset. Okay, go to the next one. This one is just a whiteboard, and this shows how simple something like this can be. What I love about using a whiteboard is that you can change it. You know how we start those projects and we're like all gung-ho and we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And then after we get into it, we're like, yeah, that doesn't really fit my branding, or that's not really my market. All you have to do is wipe that off and you can put in a new goal there. So I do like whiteboards as well. Something you'll notice too with all of these that I did not mention is I think they work best when you have either a deadline, or it's per quarter, or it's for one specific project. I don't think it's as effective if it's just this goal I want to have one day, then that might fit more in a vision board. For me, I like using them for me, I had a whole just for the conference, or for an event, or for a project, or this is going to be Q4 that I'm going to have this board for. All right, so for this one, you can see the exact, whatever they're selling that's pre-made. I'm not sure, because this, like I said, was a one I found on Pinterest. Each of those circles is obviously something they want to sell. I get overwhelmed easily. So for me, if I was making this, I might only put half of those first, and when they fill, do another half, but that's up to you guys. Whatever, you can make these as big or as elaborate or as small as you want. I made some for my kids that I don't have. I can just draw them on here for you really quick. And at the beginning of soccer season, we my whole family plays soccer, me, my husband, all my kids. So we all set a goal for our current soccer season. My kids each set a goal. So like my daughter's was, I'll just make an example, score 5 goals. And she was a defender. So it was really interesting to me that she chose to do that particular goal. So we made something very simple for each. You probably can't see this. It just says score 5 goals, and there's 5 boxes. Very simple. Each of them had one of these. We had them on the refrigerator. She scored, I think, 8 goals in her first 3 games. She had never played forward. Her coach put her in as forward. She scored a first goal right away. So it was just something that visually she decided, I want to start scoring goals, and just putting it out there and changing the mindset that I'm going to fill those boxes. So then we had to end up adding another row of boxes. So these can be very simple things. These can be elaborate. I love doing it with my kids because then this is something they can do on their own as they get older. It's not intimidating. It is one goal. So you can start small, just put it somewhere they're going to see it every day and make it measurable and something that you physically fill in or check off.
Okay, so can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yay!
Yep.
Awesome. So I was saying that to piggyback off of the question that you were asking earlier, and the fact that your goals are smaller is right above my head. I'm looking up because I have them sectioned off. So and I am not the creative type, just so you guys are aware. I am very analytical. So for me, check boxes that don't work well for Robin work great for me. And I love them because, so this is Q3, okay? And what I have written down on this is July. You can't see it too well, but there's July, August, and September. I actually have them written out. I have another one and it's been amazing, and I can't reach the hook right now, so it'll probably look crazy. It's been amazing for what it's done for my productivity. Now, let me explain. I am incredibly productive. That's just who I am. But this has taken that productivity level through the roof. It's insane what I've been able to get accomplished. And like you, I love checking things off my to-do list. And I have another one for an event that I'm hosting. I have another one, and it's amazing. It literally took the vision board and broke it down into pieces where I've been incredibly effective. That's why I think everybody should know about this method as an option for what they can do to really, as your title says, crush their goals, especially for the remainder of 2017. We still got a whole almost 2 quarters left for this year, ladies. So don't give up on the goals that you set, because right here is an amazing way for you to actually execute and see them come to pass. Sorry, I get excited, Robin.
No, I totally agree. And what I love is just that it breaks it down, because you can't put in, like, let's say I wanted to make, I'm going to use like some crazy number. Like I wanted to make $10,000 this weekend. Let's just say, if that's just a goal floating around in your head, nothing's going to actually happen until you sit down and break that down into chunks. And I've done that before, where I'd broken something down into all the little baby steps and what order, and it was very beneficial, but then it just sat in my notebook. And so then you'd go around about doing whatever's urgent, whatever feels like it's the most important. And then that list just sits there, unless I go, oh, I should work on that. But if it's in front of you, I mean, my whole family, I put to sell the tickets for the conference. That goal sheet was sitting on our refrigerator for about 3 months. So my whole family knew, oh, hey, you sold another ticket, because I needed to see it every single time I ate anything. So it was often. But I just think breaking that down makes, just for women especially, because we have so many things going on, it just, for me, was so much more manageable and achievable.
If you guys have any questions while we're doing this, please don't hesitate. Drop them in the comments. I want to make sure we get any questions you have answered, because you took the time to hop on live. I want to make sure you get your questions answered while you're right here on the show. What else was there? There was something that you said, Robin, that I really wanted to. Oh, I remember what it was now. When you were talking about when you physically write your goals down, this is a big deal. I was talking to a really good friend of mine, and I was telling her my law of attraction this year has been off the chain. And so I'm noticing that when I break things down and write them down the way you have taught me to, using the chalkboard method, I'm seeing stuff that I may have written something down or spoken about it and not necessarily know how I'm going to get it done. Not 100% sure on what each step in the plan is, but I have it written down. Okay, I need to get this many calls done this month, but I haven't met this many new people. So how am I going to get the calls done? And then I just get flooded with people that want to chat. And so this method has if you can increase your law of attraction, which I think is very, very doable by what you believe and what you put in front of you and what you practice and what you say, this method, I just think it, oh my God, it just takes it through the roof. I don't know another way to say that.
I think confidence-wise, if you put that out there, you're believing I am capable of doing this. And so often we're like, well, it'd be nice to sell this many tickets, but I don't. But putting it out there and seeing it every day, you're like, okay, bring it on. I'm going to do this. Yes. I'm capable of doing this. And I think it stretches that confidence level too.
Absolutely.
As well, by putting it out there.
You've taught so many of us that Mara says, I use this method and it's amazing.
Isn't it great? And if you Pinterest around, there's like, if you go on Pinterest or Google Images, there's a ton of different ones. Oh, I thought of another thing I forgot to mention too. And a lot of the chalkboard method on the top, there's a mantra or a theme or a quote. And I think that's really powerful too, if you're in a certain phase of life, or this project means a certain thing to you, or there's a certain Bible verse that really makes you push forward. A lot of them have that on the top next to like whatever the deadline is, or if it's for quarter 4, then it will have a quote or mantra. And I think that's really powerful too, to keep like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So every time you look at it, you're like, I got this. I got this.
Absolutely. I got another question here. Jenny says, Demita, can you or are you willing to share some of your categories? Absolutely, Jenny. Sure. Ask and you shall receive. Okay. So for my quarter 3 goals, one of the things that I have on here, one of the categories is to have my social media actually scheduled a month ahead of time. And you guys, I did it. I had all of the social media posts, especially for the group. They were all scheduled ahead of time. I put thought into it, and now I'm finishing up next month's right now, so they'll all be scheduled. Because if you have your own Facebook group, if you're really focusing, even if you don't have a Facebook group, but you're really focused on making sure you get content out there and it's good content and it's not last minute and, oh my God, I forgot to put a post out today. That's the worst position to be in, because if you forget to communicate with your audience, guess what? Somebody else didn't, and they'll move on. So that's one. The next thing is emails. So I email my list every single week. And the cool thing about this is, as I thought, this was so cool, guys. As I thought, hopefully you can see, okay, I don't know how to do this part very well. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you see that? Those are the topics for my emails. So as the topics came to me, I wrote them down and wrote the email. And so all of my emails for the month of July for my list were scheduled like 3 weeks ago. It was amazing. The blogs that I wanted to complete this month, where we had our very own Robin Walker, who was a guest blogger for this month. The podcast, I wanted to participate in podcasts as part of my visibility plan. So I just put podcasts and 3 open spaces. And guess what? Filled all 3. It's amazing.
Yay!
Networking events. Oh my God. It's amazing. I'm telling you, Robin, you training me on this it's been amazing. Networking events. I want to attend at least 2 in-person, like really good, solid, tangible networking events. Actually 1 per month. And I already did that way at the beginning of the month. And I already have 2 set up for August and working on September. And it's all because of the chalkboard method. I have that for the month of July. I want to have a minimum of 10 discovery calls or coffee chats or consultations, and right now I only have 3 left to go. This method's amazing.
It is.
That's not it. I have a page 2, but I don't know if you want to hear all of it. How many? I want to offer free opt-in every month. The free training that I want to make sure that I provide to you guys in UPM. I had that scheduled as Canva, but guess what? We were able to get a second one in with Robin. So that's cool because I got 2. I'm working on a book, you guys. I needed to get it outlined this month. I wanted to add 3 new clients to our private mastermind group. I wanted to have 3 new done for you clients. And then I just have another note for the woman in the spotlight that I want to showcase next month. I haven't filled that spot yet. So if you want to be the woman in the spotlight, guess what? That line still has nobody's name on it. So that's how I've been effectively using it for quarter 3 goals. And I have another one specifically for the what do you call it, for the event that I'm planning that you guys will get to hear all about later. So welcome, Cynthia. She says she just got in. It doesn't matter. You're just going to get some good information, love. I'm glad you were able to make it. We're hanging out here with the one and only Robin Walker. As you can see right there, she is the
You're so nice.
I do. She is the creative mind behind the Women's Business Conference and Women's Business Workshop and the Lakeside Women's Business Conference. And you guys will get to hear more about that in a minute. So I'm going to disappear. I'm going to let Robin chat a little more with you guys. Remember, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section and we'll get to them, because I want to make sure you get your questions answered while you're live. And let's finish up the presentation. So take it away.
All right. So this is my very first chalkboard method goal board. So it's very, very, very easy. It was very easy to do. The board itself, I actually got at Home Goods, and it was exactly what I needed. It already had a phrase on it that felt empowering to me. And I just used, like, I had some of that. I know those of you who are in my age group probably have a bunch of old scrapbooking stuff back from when we all used to do scrapbooking. So I just grabbed a couple different sheets. And so this was when the conference first started. So I have that sheet on the right says speakers, and I just did 5 spots. I ended up having, I believe, 12 speakers. And what I did later for both of these, for vendors and speakers, as they started filling in, I replaced them with a longer piece of paper and I got more detailed. So for the vendors, originally I was just like, we'll see who fills this in, who comes. We ended up having like 25 vendors. But what I started to do is I'd fill in what type of vendor. I want a bank that can do small business loans. I want a lawyer. I want a tax accountant. So I filled in who I wanted. And then it's amazing. I went to a networking event with Julie Ford and Maria. And there was a woman there that worked with a bank and was interested in being at the vendor event. So then I could go home and fill in her name, and that one got checked off. So it was amazing how things filled in with specifically what I put on my vendor list, which was even better because then the people who were there, I was intentional about who I wanted there and who would best fill the needs of the audience, instead of just, hey, anyone want to be a vendor? Come and be a vendor, and then have it be a hodgepodge of vendors. So it actually ended up making it a much more intentional goal. So this was just my very first one. So it's very plain, but I ended up actually replacing all of those with much more detailed and fortunately much longer lists. And so I still have that in my office, and now I just have I just unclipped those goals and just stuck in new ones. And another thing, just what I love is that my kids see this, because they also see this, and like I talked about before, about them setting their own goals, is I just think it's great training for long term. For school, you can do it with your kids. You can do it for house projects, for all kinds of things. It doesn't have to just be business, but that's where I found it to be the most powerful. And then I think, I'm not sure if there's any other slides after this one. No, that's just the information on the original, where I first heard it originally. But Cynthia, what you mentioned about it being like a vision board, in a way it is, and that's what we talked about, is just a much more specific vision board. Because on your vision board, you might have, I want a cabin in the woods. So that might just be a picture of a cabin. But the chalkboard method breaks it down, like, how are you actually going to get that cabin? So it makes you think, well, how many clients would I need every month in order to afford a second house or that house? So then on your chalkboard, you're breaking that down. Well, I want 4 clients a week. So you have 4 lines to fill those clients. And it's just amazing, you guys. I mean, even start with a small one, and then maybe we can all check back in August and see what's been happening. I think that would be really powerful. Demita, if there's something maybe we could set up for August, where everybody can post their vision or their chalkboard method, even if it's like super simple, like the goal one that I showed, that I wrote out right here. Maybe we could share some and then check back together and see what kind of magic has happened.
I love that. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Got to check. Yeah. I love that, because what I don't like doing is having all of this amazing training, amazing content, and then doing absolutely nothing with it.
Exactly.
So I love that. And what I'll do is, when we're done, I'll just kind of get together a date. It'll probably be sometime like in 2 weeks, because really, ladies, if you wait longer than 2 weeks to execute this, then I'm just being blunt, black and white, you're wasting time. You're missing it, because this thing can set you up to have an amazing August. Today is the 26th of July. So there are 5 more days left in this month. If you get this accomplished, when she told me about this and broke it down, I was so excited. I came home and I was just writing stuff out, and I just made it happen. So if you do that, you can have the best month of your year in August, because you planned for it really, really well. So Robin, I think that's an amazing suggestion. I want to share something with you guys, if it's okay. Let me see if this will be nice to me and let me do it. Hold on one second. Yes, happy birthday, Miss Cynthia. You are very, very welcome. Cynthia also says that I need baby steps. And so that's what this does for you. It does give you the baby steps. It takes the big thing and it breaks it down into very small baby steps. Miss Mara is saying, yes, I agree. You know, I have a friend on here that I just saw her comment from a long time ago. So I want to say, hey, Miss Catherine Moore, it is so beautiful to see your name pop up. Ladies, some people are from, like your past, and we worked together in my corporate world. Kissed that baby goodbye, and so did she. And she's at home with her husband and her 2 baby boys, who are absolutely beautiful. So Kathy, it's so great to see you on here. Let me see if I can get, hold on, new technology, so you know how that is. Let's see if I can get, I want to show you guys where I put together a Pinterest board specifically for this. Can you guys see that? Can you see that, Robin?
Yet. I just see you.
Okay, well, let's see if I can get rid of me. Hold on a second. I'm going to get that up there. Here we go. I need to add it to us. And what I want to do is just show this. Perfect. So you guys, this is a Pinterest board that I created specifically for this. And I'd love it, just go over there. Everything that Robin's talking about, the Being Boss Facebook group, and the Being Boss podcast that she was referring to on that very last slide. You'll find information about them right here on this board. And I'm going to go ahead and add this board to the comments of this recording, so you guys will definitely have access to it. And I wonder if it's possible. Let's see what this technology really can do. This is all new to me, but this is the Pinterest board, so you guys can play around with that a bit. Hold on, let me pop back over here with you guys. Give me just a second here. And I wonder if I can add it. Give me a moment. I'm learning so much with this amazing technology.
If you guys have projects too, or ideas that you want to post in the comments right now about some kind of goal that you might want to do your board for, feel free to post that too.
That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. This is the link for the board. You can feel free to write it, whatever.
Oh, now your sound just went out. Hey guys, now I only see myself. That's good, Cynthia. It does, it really makes you start thinking about what you could use this for. And I was saying before you got on, Cynthia, about you can do it for just one project too. You can make a board just for a specific project. Maybe you're doing a collaboration or you're doing an event. it doesn't have to be your whole quarter. If you want to do it more specifically for a specific project, you can do that as well.
I love the fact that Cynthia says my gears are turning. That's exactly what we want to happen when we do stuff like this. So it doesn't look like there are a ton of questions. So I want to give Robin the opportunity to talk about how you can connect with her some more. The way that I met her, you guys heard me talk about this before. The way that I met her was at the Lakeside Women's Business Conference in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. We were there for a full day, and it was amazing. It was phenomenal. And I want to give her an opportunity to just share a little bit with us about the conference, because it is coming up in March of next year, and now is a great time to put it on your calendar and start preparing for it, so it's part of your training budget for 2018. So Robin, if you want to tell us just a little bit about the conference, that would be awesome. Sure.
The conference was just something that was laid on my heart like 2 or 3 years ago, and I've just been planning it in notebooks and notebooks, now knowing I should have been planning it this way, but at the time was just scribbling notes. But what it is just 2 days. We're at a resort in Lake Geneva, and there are speakers. So I had all women business speakers, and then we had mini sessions where you could meet one-on-one with a business coach, a tax professional. Carrie Sharp was there doing little audits on going Facebook Live, website audits, social media discussions. I really tried to think of what we needed, or at least what I would have needed 5 years ago when I was trying to build my business. And so there was a ton of collaboration. I said it was a no mean girl zone. Everyone coming was friendly, helpful, supportive, and it just was like a love fest all weekend. I don't know if that's the way I would describe it. I just loved it. I'd look during a workshop, and there's 2 women helping each other in the background. I would do it every weekend if I could. But the next one's coming up March 10th and 11th. It's in Lake Geneva, which is about an hour south of Milwaukee and about an hour north of Chicago. So it's pretty centrally located. We're doing tickets are actually going on sale a little earlier this year, so that you can spread out your payments if you want to, or you can save up for them. If you went to the conference last year, you get the alumni special rate for the month of September. But then October 1st is the early bird tickets. And this year we're capping it at about 125 women, because last year we had a little bit smaller than that, and it was wonderful because we actually could get to know each other and talk to each other. And oh yeah, there's Renee and Davida. So this year I don't want it to get too big, because I think that will lose some of the appeal. So October 1st, the early bird tickets will go on sale. I do have a email list, and I only email about the conference. You don't get spammed with a bunch of other stuff. And Demita has that link, so that if you're interested in getting notified about when tickets go on sale, or when we have specials, or when we announce the speakers, you can sign up for that. But anyway, Demita will be there again this year. Jenny will be there this year. Renee is going to be there. We have a great lineup of speakers, but we're not announcing speakers. We're going to do a Facebook Live August 31st. But if you're not sure if it's good for you or not, just PM me and we can talk about it. Should I close this out? Does anyone else have any questions or anything that they want to ask about Chalkboard method, or suggestions, or asking how to break things down? Demita or I also are happy to help you too. If you do have that big cloud of stuff that's all over and you're not sure how to break that down, Demita or I can definitely help you chunk that into smaller bite-sized bits, and then pick one of those to use for your chalkboard. So unless I hear,
can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
Awesome sauce. Okay, cool. Because Cynthia does have a question. Cynthia said, I think I'll start with a SMART goal, then break it down. What size actionable steps are recommended for this message or recommended for this method, like 30-minute tasks, or what would you recommend, Robin?
I don't see it as much as tasks as the result you want, personally, for me. So mine is like I want to have, let's say, 30 Facebook posts in the month of August, then I would make 30 squares. And so that you're checking off that you actually completed that. That's more how I use the method, more so than like a specific task necessarily. Different than a to-do list. Wouldn't you agree, Demita? It
is. It's different. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, it's different because right here is where I keep a to-do list. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I still have my chalkboard method, but my to-do list does not go in the chalkboard method. So for example, one of the things, I have some things on my chalkboard method that I need to kind of have a to-do list for, or things that just don't kind of fit on there because they're not huge goals for the quarter, but they're little daily tasks that I need to get done. So yeah, I agree with you. 150%. Rhonda, you said Pinterest, how do we find you? I'm going to put a link in the comments specifically for the board, and so you can connect with me there. Cynthia says, I just tend to get majorly distracted unless I task out very small steps. Well, Cynthia, this is what I would say. So you know how you work. And Robin, let me know if you agree or if you think there's a better way to say this. You know your personality, you know what's best for you. So if you have to create, I guess, a smaller version of the chalkboard method, so you have the bigger goal and you break it down into smaller SMART goals, I totally understand. For me, for those of you who aren't familiar with the SMART goals, those are, it's an acronym for SMART, meaning specific, measurable, actionable. I completely forget what R is for, and T is for timely. And the purpose is, instead of me saying, oh, you know what, I want to lose weight by next year, next summer, I say I want to lose 35 pounds by June the 13th, 2018. So you're very specific, and then you say how you're going to do it. I'm going to not go out and eat fast food anymore, or I'm only going to eat fast food one day a week, or I'm going to monitor my calorie
one box. Like if you're going to do the fast food, you would have 6 days for eat healthy. You would have 6 boxes to check off. It's like something I did that. I can check it off, and they go together. So it wouldn't be like a list of 10 unrelated tasks as much as the result. Like,
I love that.
Or I'm going to exercise 14 times a week. And so you have 14 boxes and you have to check them off.
Perfect. Hopefully that provides clarity. That's what, yep, she said, see, I see, thanks. Rhonda asks, Robin, do you have a Pinterest board?
I do. Mine is just under Women's Business Workshop. And I love Pinterest. And so there's all kinds of stuff on there.
Awesome. Okay. Ladies, I want you to know that you can also connect with Robin in her Facebook group, which is called Women's Business Conference. That's not right. It's Women's Business Workshop. I just didn't write that correctly.
Right.
And it's her Facebook
pretty much group. Everything's Women's Business Workshop.
Yes,
it's pretty much across the board.
Conference. Let's see. There we go. That's the actual link for the group right there. And really quick, what I wanted to show you guys a little bit earlier, but my sound wasn't acting really nicely, is this right here. So before the conference, these are women that I had never met face to face. This is Renee Rebar. She's right here in the group as well. She's been a blessing to me. She actually taught in my private mastermind, the Unapologetically Passionate private mastermind, while I was in the hospital with my son, which was amazing. Most of you guys know my lovely sister from another Mr. Carrie Sharp, who I absolutely adore. I met her face to face. We built this amazing relationship before I went to the conference, and then I met her face to face at the conference. So it was just really like the coolest thing ever. So ladies, as we wind down, I don't see any other questions popping up. I want to let you know that the recording for this will be available. So if you missed any part of it, don't hesitate, reach out, drop a, I'm going to put a, what do you call it? A graphic image up that also says that the recording is available. And I want you to just go ahead and drop your email address in there. So if you want the recording, you can definitely have it. Reach out to me via direct message if you're concerned that I'm going to miss your email address. Or if you don't want to put your email address on the page publicly, that's fine too. Direct message is perfect. And we can get you a copy of this via direct message because it was phenomenal information that you may want to listen to again, especially if you missed any part of it. Thank you, Robin, just for imparting.
My pleasure.
Awesome. And you know, I just absolutely adore you. Are there any parting thoughts that you have for us as we kind of close out for the day? Because we're closing in on an hour. It's actually 2:54.
Nice. Just make it whatever you want. Like I said, I didn't make it up, and just make it what fits you and what works. Doesn't have to be fancy.
Awesome. Ladies, go check her out. Follow her. Follow her Women's Business Workshop.
So nice.
Make sure that you get the link so you can get updates for the conference. Don't miss this conference. This woman's amazing. And as you can see, if I care about you, if I feel like you're valuable for the group, I want to share you with the group. I'm totally not keeping everybody to myself. I want you to have valuable resources. And Robin's a valuable resource. So thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate you. Ladies, have an amazing day. Oh my God, the feeling's 100% mutual. Ladies, I want you to go out. I want you to have an amazing day. Whatever it is that we can help you with, let us know. Utilize this method. Let us know how it worked for you. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments box. Tag myself, tag Robin. We want to make sure we get all of your questions answered. And just like she said, I'll get something together by the end of today. You will have information about making sure that your that you actually have used it and you have it in place within the next 2 weeks. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us for an hour. Go have an unapologetically passionate Wednesday, and bye for now. Bye, guys.